scientists, welcome back. I am Mr. T, and this is my science assistant, Lewis. Oh, Lewis got me right in the lips. All right, so we left last time with what materials are we going to use to grow the best seeds? And right here I have some rocks, potting soil, manure, soil pellets. I have a growing container and something to help keep it watered at all times. So I kind of set up my experiment on this piece of paper that I'm going to show you a picture of. But I basically said day one, what time is it, the date. We're going to be doing seeds, which is the garden bean, and then each container of what I'm going to put in each one for what kind of dirt. I'm going to show you guys a picture of what mine looks like, and then we'll continue. All right, so the first one right here, which is 1A, we're going to put some soil in 1A. Take a little soil in 1A. All right, 1A is filled. Next, we're going to take the pellet. We're going to drop the pellet in. We're going to need a little hot water, which is in this, a little warm water actually, and we're going to dump that in. And the pellet should be able to form over a little bit of time. We're going to have to give that some time to form. While that's forming, we're going to take potting soil and put that into 3A. Just potting soil. Potting soil is kind of the stuff that you buy at the grocery store. So we're using potting soil for this container. The soil over here that we originally put in 1A, this 1A right here, was just soil that I found in the backyard. So just backyard soil, you can find it at a park, anything like that. Next, in 4A, we're going to have manure and compost. Yeah, this is steer manure, cow poop. We're going to put that in 4A. All right. A little bit of cow manure, and it has a little bit of compost in it as well. We're going to put that into 4A here. All right. And then we have pebbles and rocks. We're going to put that in 5. I don't know if this is going to work very well, but we're going to find out. All right. And we have one more scoop. All right, there we go. And then finally in 6A, this is the manure and potting soil that you buy from the grocery store or Home Depot or something, the combination of the two. So based on my research, I was reading how potting soil is a great thing to use with the combination of manure, which is kind of like a fertilizer. So we're going to put that in. All right, we got that in. Sure. All right. Over here, our pellet is formed. I'm going to show you a quick little speed up video of the pellet right here. All right, go. All right, I had to show you that speed up of the pellet because you can't really see it right here. So now we're going to take our little stick, because it's just like raised up, and we're going to kind of move it around so it becomes just that regular old dirt. Can we get a clip of that? All right, so we have that as well. Now we're gonna just take regular old garden beans, Kitchen King, and on the back it says plant 1 inch. So we're gonna have to go in about 1 inch with our seeds. So I'm gonna grab out a few seeds. They look something like that. Can we get a close up here? All right. We're gonna plant 1 each. So first one here, plant that in. We're gonna go and take a quick peek at setting up our science experiment, what I just kind of talked about here and showed you. I'm gonna show you a little bit more about setting up a proper science experiment. Hey, how you guys doing? So plant growth is what we're working on, and our question was, what is the best material to use to grow a bean seed the tallest? We're supposed to do some research on this. I did some research, and then we're supposed to come up with an educated guess, the hypothesis. And the hypothesis is usually an I think question, or an I think statement, not a question. The question is here, we're gonna write a statement. So for my statement, for my hypothesis, your hypothesis can be different than mine, but my hypothesis is going to be, I think the potting soil and manure will grow seed the tallest because soil has a lot of nutrients that plant needs to be able to grow. So I think it's going to be the potting soil and manure. You might think something else. The fun thing is we get to do the experiment and to find out. So our experiment setup is we put all the soil down in each one of those pods. They're going to get the exact same amount of water. They're going to get the exact same amount of sun. And we need to talk about the independent variable of our experiment. And the independent variable is what's different about each one of those containers. What's the difference between the 6 containers? What is different about the experiment? Well, if you're thinking the soil is different, then you are right on. So the independent variable is going to be the difference. What's different about everything is the soil is different. So each one of those containers is going to hold a different kind of soil in it. The dependent variable is going to depend on that independent variable. And so that dependent variable is going to be, what are we going to measure? A little clumsy there. Our measurement, what are we going to measure? Does anyone have an idea? Lewis? Yes, Lewis, that is correct. We are going to measure the height of the seedlings each day once they start sprouting. So the dependent variable depends on the soil and whether or not the soil is going to grow up that plant. So the dependent is going to be measurement. what are we going to measure? And for this instant, we're going to measure the height of the plant. So it's kind of like whichever one grows the tallest is probably going to be the best plant or the best material to use to grow that plant. And finally, we have that control. The control is, what are we going to compare? So we got to compare our materials to one particular material. And so I thought, what's something that we can find outside in the yard, we can find at the park, we can find in the playground, we can find in the schoolyard, and that's just regular soil. So soil is going to be the thing that the soil, the seed that grows in that soil is what we're going to compare all of these other materials and materials to. That's soil. So that brings into our experiment. The independent variable in our experiment is going to be the different types of soil, because we're going to test which soil is the best. We're going to measure the plant as they grow. We're going to measure that height. And we're going to compare all of our plants to that plant that's growing in the soil. So that's fantastic.
Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way.